see blockchain as the best solution to the challenge of provably fair and open elections? How can the institutional obstacles to its, these are actually two questions. How can the institutional obstacles to its adoption be overcome? But yeah, Mike, what do you think? Elections. Mike doesn't have a mic, so he's got to go to the mic.
Mic for the mic. So, look, I think there's areas of society that we should be probably tinkering with first than something as sort of sensitive as our democracy. So I don't think that this whole bit nation idea that some people come up with, and we're going to be citizens with our own, national identities somehow identified into a blockchain and we'll all vote through these systems is necessarily the way to go at that higher level. But voting, when it applies to all these other aspects of life, whether it is a community that want to figure out whether they should run a new canal through some part of their district, or whether it is a company that's holding an AGM and so forth. There's votes that we have all the time. In fact, we can now introduce voting into all sorts of things we didn't have before, and some of the stuff that Consensus has worked on in terms of reputation and these things have these capacities to it. So it's very interesting to think about how we can become more responsive to a sort of form of democracy outside of the bigger sort of national democracy context. And the reason why it's relevant is because if you just think about the basic idea that Bitcoin solved, whereby you can't double spend a Bitcoin. There can only be one representation of that entry. The basic principle is the same, that we can now provably prevent the double spending of votes. And so potentially we can have a sort of a fluid mobile kind of network where people can vote on their phones, and that could be quite constructive.